Hello students, welcome back to your online physical education class. So today we are going to start our next topic of Unit 6, Test and Measurement in Sports. So our next topic is measurement of cardiovascular fitness, and we will measure cardiovascular fitness by two tests, that is your Harvard step test and Rockport test. So let's get started. So students, to understand the measurement of cardiovascular fitness, firstly you have to understand what is cardiovascular fitness. So it is the ability of our heart, blood cells and lungs to supply oxygenated rich blood to the working muscle tissues. That means the muscles which are involved in our activity, and the ability of muscles to use oxygen to produce energy for the movement. So students, now we will study the first test which is used for the measurement of cardiovascular fitness. So it is your Harvard step test. So Harvard step test is used to measure the cardiovascular endurance and muscle endurance. So this is the procedure how we will perform this Harvard step test for 5 minutes. So now we will understand the procedure and the equipments and the scoring. So purpose you have already know to measure the cardiovascular endurance, and the equipment required in this Harvard step test are step or platform of 20 inches or 50.8 centimeter high. It will be like a bench. Then stopwatch for calculating the time, and the tape, it can be metronome or cadence. So students, now we will understand the procedure of Harvard step test, how this test will going to be done in practical. So the athlete should warm up before the test at least 10 minutes. Then the tester will give the command of go and start the stopwatch. The athlete step up and down on the platform at the rate of 30 steps per minute for 5 minutes, or until he or she is exhausted. Then the athlete immediately sit down on completion of the test, and the total number of heartbeats are counted between 1 to 1.5 minutes after finishing. This is the only measure required if using the short form of the test, that is 100 into test duration in seconds divided by 5.5 into pulse counted between 1 and 1.5 minutes. This is for the short form fitness index. Then if the long form of the test is being conducted, there is an additional heart rate measure at between 2 to 2.5 minutes and between 3 to 3.5 minutes. So the fitness index score for long form is 100 into 300, that is your test duration in seconds, divided by 2 into sum of 3 pulses count after the test. So this is your formula for fitness test index. So students, here is the scoring of Harvard step test, how we are going to score this test. So there are two forms by which we can score this test, that is one is short form and one is long form. So in short form, the test will be counted only between 1 and 1.5 minutes, that is for the shorter duration. And if it is for the longer form, then it will be counted sum of heartbeat in the recovery period, that is your pulse 2 and pulse 3, which is 2 to 2.5 minutes and 3 to 3.5 minutes. So below that there is the fitness index score, in which we have the fitness index. So when you will get the sum from these two forms, whether it is short or long form, so whatever it will be, So it will be shown in the index that the person is coming in which category. So students, here I am going to show you one example of scoring fitness test, with the help of which you will be able to understand very easily that how we have to measure this test with both the forms, whether it is short or long form. Just you have to change your pulse count between 1 and 1.5 minute, and in the long form you have to divide by 2 into sum of heartbeat in the recovery period, which involve all the three pulse counts. So students, here are some advantages and disadvantages of this test. So the advantages are, this test is easy to conduct. This test requires minimal equipment and is less expensive. It can be self-administrated. Yes, so you can practice this test on yourself also to calculate your cardiovascular fitness. So now comes the disadvantages. Taller people are at an advantage as it will take less energy to step up onto the step. Heavyweight people cannot perform well. Testing large group with this test will be time consuming. So now comes our second cardiovascular fitness test, that is your Rockport test. So the Rockport is common aerobic fitness test for those of low fitness level. This test is suitable for both male and female of poor fitness who would not be able to complete a similar distance run test. The test is suitable for people of all ages from the very young to elderly. So now the purpose of this test is to measure the cardiovascular endurance, and equipments which were used in Rockport test would be stopwatch, smooth and level marked 1 mile track, paper and pencil for writing the record time, then heart rate monitor, it is optional, and body weight scale. So these are the equipments which will be used in this test. So students, now we will understand the procedure of Rockport 1 mile test. So firstly, the purpose of this test is to walk as fast as possible for 1 mile. That is your 1.6 kilometers, or if you have a track of 400 meter, it will be 4 laps of 400 meter track. So after you complete the mile, immediately take your pulse rate. You will count your pulse rate and then note the time it took to complete the mile. Then you have to note down the time. You will also need to know your body weight in pounds. You have to convert your body weight from kg to pound for the calculation of maximum oxygen consumption. So the scoring you will do for your Rockport test, the formula is given as under. You just have to apply in this formula your weight in pounds, your age, and then gender. If you are female, you will apply 0, and if you are male, you will apply 1, and then your time, in how much time you have complete 1 mile walk test, and then comes your heart rate, the heart rate which you have measured. So this is the formula by which you will calculate your Rockport test. So you just take example of yourself and calculate, and you will be able to understand more easily. So students, here are some advantages and disadvantages of Rockport 1 mile test. So advantages are minimal equipment required, simple to set up and conduct, more than one athlete can conduct the test as at the same time. The test can be administered by the athlete. Disadvantages are specific facilities required like flat surface, assistant required to administrate the test. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of Rockport 1 mile test, With this, we have completed our measurement of cardiovascular fitness test. So, students, do watch and understand this test, and after that, we will start our this topic in our next class. Thank you.